Yeah. And I remember in the video you did with Omar, you talked about the mindset changing a lot after that squat video, where you had to dump the weight off your back.
Mm. Yeah.
Did you suffer any injuries in that moment, or was it just kind of like a wake up call?
Yeah, I got really massively fucked up. It was pretty bad.
Oh.
But I hurt my ankle, my knee. These were things that just got like really swollen and they were jacked up for a while. I never did go to the doctor. I never checked to see if, like I didn't think there was a broken bone or anything. There was no blood, nothing was protruding out anywhere. In fact, I actually stayed at the whole rest of the competition and helped everybody else out until the meet was over. And then I kind of realized what a bad idea that was because my leg was just like really, really swollen and kind of hot. And I was like, holy shit, this is not good. Um, anyway, yeah, there was a big mind shift after that because that injury, getting messed up from that lift, uh, kind of kept me from doing a lot of things that I do love in terms of lifting for a few months. I couldn't even put a shoe on for a few months because my foot was so swollen. And so I just was like, oh, I need to try to concentrate on something else. So I went to the gym and I was like, I could still like bench and do some upper body stuff and things like that. Being a meathead, I don't know anything else. And so I worked on some bench pressing for a little bit, but as many other people that are listening to the show may have experienced in the past, uh, injuries kind of beget injuries, and your body, when your body is hurt, your whole body is hurt. Like your spirit and your mind is kind of trashed a little bit too, and it really opens you up to other injuries. And so, I started benching, and then all of a sudden, I tweaked something in my shoulder, which I've since that time, and before that time, I've never had one shoulder injury with all the bench pressing that I've done. I've had pec things and tricep things and elbow things here and there, but never had any shoulder issues. But in talking to a friend, he's like, "Yeah, man, like your whole body's offset because your knee is jacked, your hip is jacked. You can't get in the same position to bench, and so it actually makes some sense that your shoulder would hurt." So I had to just kind of reevaluate stuff. And I was just like, I'm well over 300 pounds right now, and this just does not make any sense. This is not a good idea to be this big. And so I was like, I'm going to get in better shape. And that's when I started to embark on a paleo style diet. I utilized Rob Wolf's paleo solution, which is still a great diet, but it really just helped to eliminate a lot of carbohydrates from my diet. I already previously knew about keto style dieting because I did it when I was in high school, messed around with it and lost some weight that way, and it always worked well. And then from the paleo diet, I did a diet called Carb Night by a guy named John Kiefer, and that had a lot of success to it as well. Again, that was a little bit more keto based. It was like 30, 40, 50 grams of carbs. And I lost weight, and then I eventually, got myself healthier and came back in powerlifting, and then people were really kind of confused on how I was powerlifting and doing some of the things I was doing on a low carbohydrate diet. But uh, with that style of nutrition, I would throw carbs in. Like I would have I don't know 30 to 50 grams of carbs a day. But then on just some days where I felt like I needed to kind of bring in a little bit more energy, I might eat 100, 200 grams of carbs, and I'd go back on the plan and so forth. And so it was kind of almost like a cyclical carbohydrate diet, and it worked great for powerlifting, and it helped a lot with recomping. So I went from 330 down to 290 with the paleo solution, and then I went from 290 to about 260, utilizing just a more structured kind of ketogenic carb cycling uh, type of diet. And kind of through that whole process, I started to develop a lot of my own ideas and principles around nutrition, and then um, came up with a lot of the stuff that I'm currently doing, which is still very, very low carbohydrate. I'm just on a completely different plan now. But um, anyway, I learned a lot going through that process, and it was transformative to me in more ways than one.